What's going on, Cross Sheeple? Welcome back to the channel. It's Levi here, and I entered a sealed only tournament. Ben also entered, hosted by Ecorion. Link in the description for his channel. And this is basically how it went. In the first round, I'm going up against Steel Gem Gaming. He is playing his sealed only Harpy deck, and he was a shoo-in for the tournament, so he was kind of asked the last minute to play. And one of the rules for the tournament was if you have over 15 episodes of your sealed only, you had to use your sealed only 15 as like the max cards that you could use. Well, he was only on like episode 3, 4 of his sealed only journey, so he was like way behind basically every single person in the tournament. I'm gonna have his link down in the description along with all of the other people in the tournament that I played against. Basically, the only thing that's happened so far is I've just been swarming the board, and I popped his normal summon on the other turn, and he's gonna normal summon again, and then I just solemn it. So basically he has nothing on field, and I'm kind of just like in the driver's seat from there. Just gonna normal summon Fairy Tale Luna, search to add a 1850 to hand, and it looks like that's going to be the end of game number 1. In game number 2, I'm going first again. I wanted to give you guys a little bit more insight about how the tournament was structured. So basically there were 16 people that were all sealed only Yugi tubers, and we all were placed into a group A, B, C, or D, and we did like a small, basically everyone had to play everyone in their group, and then the top 2 players of every group was going to a single elimination bracket after that, and then the bottom 2 were going to go to a consolation bracket. So basically right now I have Secret Village of the Spellcasters, meaning he can't activate any spells without having a spellcaster on field, and he actually almost had a chance to stop me from having a spellcaster on the field there, but luckily I had a normal summon, and he's basically just stuck with a bunch of cards in his hand that he can't use. And then I draw the Meltdown, add the Alistair, and from here I basically knew it was game. He had nothing on board, so GG's to Steel Gem Gaming. Check his channel out, link will be in the description. Match number 2, we're going up against the Pokemonarch in his sealed only dinosaur deck, and I was really worried about his deck because he was on like episode 20 or something of his sealed only, and he actually had to do the opposite of Steel Gem. He had to revert back. I also had to like revert back some of the cards that I had owned. Oh yeah, this is before Dryden got banned, FYI. And looking back, I can kind of see now Dryden was such a good card. Having the ability to pop at any moment, if you know a deck's choke point, being able to kind of just stop that choke point is really powerful. So I popped his Lost World, and then I solemn warning his Misk because I did not want him to be summoning out the Archosaur, which he owns in his sealed only deck. He also has access code talker. I believe he pulled 2 access code talkers on his sealed only journey, which I think is just kind of nuts. So I activate Secret Village of the Spellcasters, just hoping that this would be enough to stop him, and it was. Game number 2. And he's going to make me go first, which dinos love going second because they have the OTK power. Right here, I'm looking at the replay. I was like, he should have used his Gamma probably to stop the Alistair. But, I mean, maybe he wanted to save it for his turn. He didn't know potentially what I had. I used Twin Twister to pop his Lost World. And, hey, he's got another one. So, that's fun. He uses Misk to bring out the Archosaur, and then he's going to summon a token, but I said not on my watch. I popped the Lost World. And of course, he goes into Linkuriboh, Secured Gardena, double Evo Pill. He brings out Ultimate Conductor and does a fat chunk of damage to me. I actually draw really good right here, and I'm able to search for 2 cards, and then we'll set 1 and search 1. This is going to let me draw a card, and this helps me generate a lot of advantage. I use the Invocation and make Mechaba. Right here, he probably should have used the Ultimate Conductor effect to flip everything down, but he didn't know that I did not have a monster in hand to negate with Mechaba. So I was basically just playing that, hoping that he wouldn't activate Ultimate Conductor. He didn't, and then I have enough attack to get over it. He top decks the Pankratops, which was like crazy, and attacks over my Charmer, and then just uses its effect to pop the Mechaba, which was good. And then here, he decides to go ahead and use the Gamma, and we're basically just in a top deck war. While we're in this top deck war, I just wanted to say that he is no longer doing the sealed only dinos. He's doing a sealed only Drytron, like challenge mode, similar to kind of Rev's cards, but you know, different in his own way. So definitely check out his channel. Link will be down in the description. I dueled him with this sealed only deck minus Trident, and you can check out what happened on his channel. So I'm playing Beatdown here with my Water Charmer. He tries to use Monster Reborn on my Mechaba, but I cannot let him do that. So I use Solemn Warning, and I've hit him twice now. It's basically on a 2-turn clock unless I can draw another monster. He uses Lost World basically to just lower my card's attacks. I draw Lancia here, and I know that I can beat him on the next turn, so I'm just going to go ahead and shotgun it in the standby phase. And that literally saved me because he top decks double Evolution Pill, which would have brought out Ultimate Conductor. And so I end up beating him on that turn. GG's. Match number 3, we're going up against Bienis and his Code Talker, Cybrus, Playmaker Journey build that he has going over on his channel. And his deck is really powerful. We all knew that he had access code talker, so he was kind of like one of the scary people to play against. Him and Pokemonarch both, everyone was like, I don't want to play against them. And when the groups were announced and I saw that I was in the same group as both of the people who owned access code talker for their sealed only decks, I was like, yeah, I'm screwed. I honestly didn't even expect to beat Pokemonarch, so going up against Bienis, I thought I was gonna lose right off the rip. So he gets access code talker out, and he starts doing crazy spamming. As you can see, he summoned about 47 times. If I had Nibiru, that would have been great. Unfortunately, I did not, and that was a quick game 1. And one of the things I think that really helped me against Pokemonarch was I knew the dinos and I know what their cards do. His deck, I don't know what the cards do. I just knew that that card, the spell one, let him search a different card from his deck every time he link summoned a code talker, and I knew that that wasn't going to be good for me, so I needed to try to stop that card. Unfortunately, that didn't end up happening, and I just sided a bunch of like traps because I knew I was going to try to go first, which I knew was a bad idea as well, because like, well, if he gets to go second, he could have just OTK me. So I sided in some traps. He summons out transcode talker, and I bottomless trap hole it, and I thought, that's going to stop him. He summons out another one. I bottomless trap hole that one as well. But, bro, I'm telling you, this card is crazy. He just keeps adding stuff from his deck to his hand, like that are extenders. He broke his deck down for me later after we dueled, and he's like, yeah, if you stop the normal summon, that kind of slows the deck down. But once it gets rolling, bro, this deck is crazy. And he beats me up with access code talker 1, and I just draw nothing on the next turn, and I just knew that I was going to lose. But it was really cool talking to him in the Discord chat when we were dueling. I watch his videos, and he's like, Link Shogun, Exit Code Talker. So yeah, GG's to him. Link down in the description. Now we're going up against Ecorion. He is the one who is hosting the tournament, and he is using heroes. And I used to actually play heroes. I own the hero deck, so I know how the deck functions. This was the deck I was playing before COVID lockdown. That gives me a huge advantage in this. So whenever I win the die roll, I make him go first. We are in the champion bracket, so basically it's, if you lose, you're out of the tournament at this point. All the group rounds are over, and if you were like curious like how the structure was you need more information on that, or you just want to like watch the whole tournament, go to his channel. Link will be in the description, and he has all of that. He did a really good job. He did a lot of great artworks and stuff like that for like the brackets and everything. So go check out his channel. I got him up against the ropes right here, and he hits Fusion Destiny, but I have the Ash in hand, which is super lucky because I only have 1 Ash in my sealed only deck. So I'm like winning card advantage wise. Even though the life points are tied, it's clear that I have the advantage here. I summon out a second area, and I have the spell that boosts your attack by 300 for each type. I start punching in, and I got him on a 1-turn clock. I go ahead and make Bahamut Shark and go into Toad. And at this point, he draws Compulse, so there's nothing he can do. We're going into game 2. And, of course, he makes me go first, which is smart because, heroes want to go second, they can OTK. And I'm going to hit him with the most powerful of invoked boards that there ever was, Mechaba Pass. Also, do you guys call him Mechaba or do you call him Makaba? I know a lot of players pronounce his name differently. And I want to give you guys a little tip and a secret. If you've ever played against a hero player, one of the biggest choke points is right here whenever they try to get Vion to the field. So if you can stop the increase from getting Vion on the field, that's a good place to try to interrupt the hero play. I used Mechaba to negate the Liquid Soldier, and then he had Miracle Fusion, and he traded with my Mechaba. I wanted to save the Alistair just to have a follow-up play. He calls Fusion right there, so I can't Fusion Summon, but luckily I had the Extender with Gigabyte, so now I can just overlay into Chakanine, overlay into Trident, and I'm ready for basically anything that he does on his turn. He uses both cards in hand to make a classic Dystopia, which I love Dystopia. It's such a good card. I pop it with Trident, but then he summons back the Malicious and beats over my Trident, and I top deck like a god, Magical Meltdown. I use both of our graveyards to make a Godes, and I pop Mally, and then I use Invocation to add the Alistair back to hand, and then I just use in the damage step both Alistairs to beef up my Godes to 6,500 and punch him for the game. So as you can see in this bracket that was made by Ecorion and from his video that I stole from his channel, I'm supposed to go against Dual Humor or Screech, whoever wins their duel. Those two never ended up dueling for some reason, and you might be asking yourself, who am I supposed to duel against? Did I get a free bye to the finals? Well, no, it didn't. Rain Knight, Benjiman, and Ecorion had to settle that, and basically Benjiman versus Rain Knight happened, and then the winner of that duel dueled Ecorion, and then the winner of that duel would be who I faced in the semifinal match. And guess who won? Ecorion did. So we're playing him again, back to back. I'm going up against heroes again. Good thing I know how to play against this deck. And for the semifinals and the final round, Ecorion wanted it to be a best of 5. So we're going to be playing, basically first to win 3 matches out of 5 games. And I win the die roll. I make him go first because I know how much heroes love going first. And don't get me wrong, heroes can make good going first boards if you can set up Plasma Dark Law. Like, that's really hard for a lot of decks to play through. So don't get it twisted. Heroes can go first. And he top decks Fusion Destiny, which is basically the best card that he could have gotten. A lot of people don't know this, but you can OTK with just that card. So it's a very powerful card. I have the Trident, and I can basically pop at any moment, but I know that he's going to be comboing like crazy, so I have to wait. And he tries to attack me a Dread Decimator, which does piercing damage, so I have to pop it because I know I'm going to take a lot of damage. He decides to go ahead and attack the Trick Clown because I already used the effect this turn, so he knows that it's not going to be able to just keep cycling back and cycling back. He should have attacked the Trident to get rid of that pop. Just having it on field at any time is really good, but I go ahead and pop his Shadow Mist, and then he tries to go for the search. I'm negate with Mechaba, and now I'm just, kind of chipping away at his life points, and I have the double Alistair, which is enough to attack for game. And we're going to go ahead and start game number 2 here. And of course, he's going to make me go first because he wants to try to OTK. I start out with the Alistair, and then I have the Gigabyte to go into Chakanine and go into Trident. I'm not too confident about this hand, so I go ahead and set the spell card. That's a quick play that lets me special summon from the deck and set a card. And he's going to start comboing here. I know he's about to Raigeki and Harvey's Feather Duster me, so I have to pop that. Basically, it's going to destroy my monsters, but he would have destroyed my back row also, so I couldn't have let him do that. He tries to summon out Ferris, and I just hit him with a nope. You think that his turn would be over there. You really do. But heroes can just keep going and going, and Fusion Destiny and going and going. And I realized that at this point I'm basically dead already, but I use that card to get out the Earth Charmer, just set it face down defense. But Sunrise has an effect that lets you pop a card when another hero attacks, and that's why heroes want to go second, because they can OTK. Game number 3, let's get it. And I'm making him once again go first because heroes have a difficult time going first. And unfortunately, he only plays 1 increase in his deck. So he searches the Ferris and discards the increase, but he doesn't have another increase to summon. So that's not very good for him. I'm going to go ahead and use the effect of Fairy Tale Luna, and he ashes it for the search. And I'm going to search Secret Village of the Spellcasters here because I know heroes are very reliant on their spell cards, and if you can't use Polymerization, you're kind of screwed. I didn't attack there because I was afraid of Honest Neos in hand, and if he has the Honest Neos, I'm screwed. So he tries to use Mass Change. I said I can't let that happen. Solemn Warning. Bring back my Spellcaster because I didn't have a Spellcaster on board. That's why he was able to use that. And now I'm just going to start chipping away because I have 2 spellcasters on field. He's going to set that to the spell and trap zone. I link off the nefariousness so I can go ahead and get a search, and he just literally can't do anything right now. I activate the trap to go ahead and special summon the area, which lets me draw, and then I have win. So now my board is just stacked with a bunch of different attributes, and I go ahead and attack for game. And now we're going to game number 4. And just look at my hand. Like, I have the invocation, which I only own 1 invocation in the sealed only deck, and 3 effect Veiler. So we don't have the best hand, but we do have interruptions. So I'm going to go ahead and just stop the Ferris right off the rip. I don't want him even using that. I figure maybe I can stop that. He's going to be good. The Vion comes out. I said, nope, can't let that start dumping stuff. But he had the Fusion Destiny. If he didn't have the Fusion Destiny, that would have probably just ended his whole turn. But he's going to start comboing tribute to add. Like, he's going crazy right now. He adds the Honest Neos. So he's basically in a really good position from here. Unfortunately for him, I have Alistair in hand, and he's a good card. So I'm going to go ahead and activate Alistair's effect, add invocation, and he has a fusion card in the grave, so I'm going to banish it to make a Godes, pop his Cross Crusader, and then I'm going to actually banish my own Mechaba to beef him up, because I know that heroes have a hard time getting over really big things without Honest Neos. He goes for Liquid Soldier and goes to summon back the Vion. Whenever Vion is summoned, I go ahead and pop it with a Godes, because whenever a card special summon, a Godes can pop. He sets Solemn Strike, and he told me, like, after this duel was over, that he was basically holding the strike, waiting for Mechaba to be summoned. Solemn Strike can only stop the summons of cards that don't start a chain. Since Mechaba was summoned with Invocation, you can't Solemn Strike it. When I go to use Alistair, he strikes the Alistair, but that's going to be game. So we made it to the finals, and guess who we're going up against? None other than TCG Wolf, a good friend of our channel, and someone who actually started their sealed only the same exact day as us, and we both hit 100 subs the same exact day. So it's like an honor going up against him in the finals of this. And for those of you who don't know, Ben actually made it to the finals in the consolation bracket. So definitely go check out Ecorion's videos about the whole tournament. So he's popping off, doing, you know, normal Shadal stuff. He summons out a Winda and passes over to us. We go ahead and imperm the Winda because I don't think we could deal with it without imperming it. So we start cleaning up a little bit, but we know he has the beast set. We go ahead and use Trident to destroy the Winda. And now we're just basically hoping for a good timed Trident to really just keep us alive at this point. He goes ahead and pops our Solemn Warning, which was good. You know, we're going to pop his beast, and he's going to reincarnation back the Winda. But luckily it summons it in defense mode, so we should be able to get over it fairly easy. We're going to go ahead and pop Magical Meltdown because for some reason I thought that you could pop face down cards with Trident, and you cannot. So he's going to go ahead and summon out Falco, the only tuner in Shadal's. And the whole time for his Shadal Dragoon deck that he was building, I said try to summon a Synchro monster with Falco, but he was like, it's going to be impossible. I summoned out a Godes in defense mode, and I tried to search with the Nefariousness, but he ashed that. Also, like, this was like the longest back and forth game, honestly, with me and him here, the game 1. So I'm just going to let it kind of play a little bit and talk about his new series, which, well, he has multiple series. He has a Time Warp, which is his progression series. Definitely go check out that because he's going 2 sets at a time, which is really awesome, versus Ecorion. I'm using my Appaloosa to negate stuff. He's also doing a Deck Tech Tuesday where he basically does a budget version, 100 euros of a deck, and he does that every single week. And he just started his Season 2 sealed only, so definitely check out TCG Wolf's channel. Link will be down in the description. He activates Shadal Fusion, and I'm going to go ahead and ash that because I just can't allow that to happen. Now he's going to try to bounce my Mechaba back with Dragon, so I got to negate that with Appaloosa. Then he beats over Appaloosa, and we just go ahead and pass. I'm going to have to save the Alistair in hand here just because I know that we're like in a close top decky kind of war, and I don't really want to use all my resources. So I get Terraforming here, I add Secret Village, and then I'm going to normal summon Alistair. and then add invocation. But like I said, I'm just holding cards for basically negates at this point. I know I can negate his Shaddoll Fusion if he was to draw it. And he tries to trade Alistair's here because he kind of realizes that I had the game in the bag. So game number 2, let's go. He makes me go first because he built his deck to go second, because Shaddoll Fusion is way better going second if your opponent has an extra deck monster on the field. With this, I'm thinking maybe I should try to avoid summoning monsters from the extra deck. So I just summon out the Nefariousness, and he goes to Terraforming, to Meltdown, to Alistair. Luckily, I have the invocation, I have the Effect Veiler in hand, and that just stops his turn. In phase, that little one pops the big one, so I can get the search here. And I'm literally just trying to play beatdown. I don't want him to have any opportunity to use Shaddoll Fusion. Little do I know his hand is just not that good, but that's what my thought process is. So he's going to go ahead and use Damage Juggler to add Hat Tricker. And right here I have to Solemn Warning because I know he will have the materials for Verte. And he just surrenders. Game number 3, and it's looking like a potential 3-0 sweep. So I'm like, yeah, let's get it, baby. I'm made to go first, and I have a decent hand. I have Interruptions, I have Imperm, I have the Ash. He activates Invocation, and I just shut that down immediately with Solemn Warning. And then I have the Ash for his Shaddoll Fusion, so I'm just like, bro, he's screwed. I think I basically have him on the ropes at this point. Unfortunately, he has the Windy, which is going to let him bring out the Hedgehog, which is going to let him add another Shaddoll Fusion. So I'm like, that's not great. And then I don't know why I decided to go into an extra deck monster, and he top decks Harpy's Feather Duster. So it was just all around not a very good. That was very unlucky, and a misplay essentially with making the Trident. And he's going to start comboing off. He makes Cross Sheep, and right here he actually made a misplay. He accidentally summons the Construct face down. And I'm like, oh, well, he has the Imperm set, and really, even if he would have summoned the Construct face up, like, yeah, he would have had more comboing and then more cards on field, probably a Boral Sword OTK, but he's going to have the Dragoon, and he's just going to start basically chipping away at me. And I mean, I realize that I'm just on the ropes. He's got the Dragoon negate. There's really nothing I can do, so I'm just going to scoop it up, and the dream of the 3-0 sweep in the finals is over at this point, and we're going into game 4. And just look at this man's hand. He has the worst cards in hand: Dark Magician and Red Eyes. That's what happens when you play Dragoon. You have to play 2 bricks, unfortunately. So he starts trying to get Alistair to Invocation. I'm trying to just basically stop him from getting any fusion spells at all. I don't want him fusion summoning. So, and then I'm thinking, do not summon from the extra deck. Don't be a dummy. Don't summon from the extra deck and just play beatdown. He's not going to be able to do anything against you. He gets the Foolish Burial, sends Squamata to send Windy. Nope, you're not summoning anything. I don't want you putting any monsters on the board. So we get the Awakening of the Possessed, beef our cards up, and I tribute summon, and then that's enough for a game. GG to TCG Wolf. We joked around, and I basically said the reason that he lost was because he decided to start using YuGiOh Omega for his sealed only channel instead of using EDO Pro, so they bricked his hands. But I mean, it was fun. It was hard to get the duel set up. He had to play me at midnight or so his time, and it was like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. my time. So with him being, in Europe, it was kind of hard. But this is the deck list. Only thing that's not in the deck list is because I dueled Pokemonarch. So Chakanine and Trident are on the list because they're banned. Well, Trident's banned. And I had to take them out so I could play Pokemonarch for his channel. Go check out his video. Check out all the creators in the description. And big shout out to Ecorion for hosting the tournament. It was a lot of fun. I met a lot of cool Yugi tubers that I didn't know about, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and be on the lookout for more content soon.